All right, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. This might be my last 4DX experience through and throughout. Like I said, I moved to a new location and I went to a theater to have the 4DX experience. It was very small. It was maybe 3 rows, and the experience and the chairs just it wasn't worth the 45-minute drive to experience it because the Regal one was a million times better. But flight risk. Let's see what it was like in 4DX. Chase Lock here with the Blue Futon reviewing Flight Risk and 4DX, which is about pretty simple premise. You've seen the trailers. Marky Mark's a hitman, then you have the special agent girl, and then you have Topher Grace, who is, you know what, finance, and he knows where the money is, and shenanigans will be on this plane. This is a 3-person film through and throughout. So talk about the 4DX experience. It could have been better, but I really think it was this B&B movie theater that just didn't do the movie justice. Yeah, there were some good things when the plane was in the air and going apeshit crazy. Yeah, the 4DX was fun, but comparing this to other 4DX experiences I had with Regal, it just felt like there was more action, there was more movement, there was more bubbles, there was more smoke. Yes, the big thing in this one I noticed was a lot more flashing, strobing lights, and that actually worked well with the taser scenes in this film. But the overall 4DX experience I experienced in this theater was very piss poor in my opinion, and it just made me go, nah, I'm good with 4DX until I move to a new location, which will be in probably a year or two anyway. So all this is coming down soon. Anyway, no, Flight Risk. I like this movie. I know a lot of people are not liking it. This is the perfect dad movie for me. This is perfect. You know what you're getting. You know you're getting shenanigans. You know you're getting oh shit moments. You know you're getting some good humor. You know you're getting some just cheesy acting. And it is a perfect like 80s, early 90s action movie through and throughout. And that's what I got from it. And I enjoyed it. Yes, some people say it might be too simplistic. But you know what? That's why it's only an hour and a half. They knew what they were doing with the actual pacing. And I think Mel Gibson did a good job there. Yes, the script could have been better, especially with things that are recurring with everything on screen. I do wish, though, when dealing with this movie and having a lot of stuff happening on the ground, especially with the mobsters and Topher Grace's mom, and who can she trust in the CIA or whatever 3-letter division she's working on to get Topher Grace to its location. Knowing that information in that background, you do get that about who died in the past, but I do wish we kind of get to know more of those characters on the walkie-talkies or on the headsets, because you do meet one of them who was a guy that was helping her fly the plane. I think that was a very cute storyline. How it ends, how some demises happen with some of these characters, I thought was pretty funny overall. I do wish, though, like I said, that this movie does go a little bit longer, because it kind of ends with something happening in a an ambulance, and it kind of just fades to black because we're going to end the story arc with where it's going from Alaska or to Seattle to New York. You know what I mean? They wanted to end it there. But I do wish it could have gone a little bit further with having some of these corrupt 3-letter agency people get put in the dirt, because there were some shenanigans happening in suit. Like, this felt like, okay, it doesn't feel like it, but Edge of Darkness, you remember that Mel Gibson movie where it's like, oh shit happening? I do feel like if they added some of the plane stuff with some of the CIA stuff, even though that might have been a little bit too convoluted with what you're trying to do with the actual story, trying to be a very simplistic plane story with 3 people trying to survive and not trying to like over bloat the screenplay with all the things happening on the ground, the CIA with car crashes, with who's dying and what's not happening. I understand why you want to do that, but I think adding that might have been a little bit more fun for the audience. I don't know. I could be freaking wrong, but I understand what they're trying to go with this movie. A very simplistic, by the book, late 80s, early 90s action film that doesn't take the foot off the gas. It goes full-fledged. You're having fun. Topher Grace is eating up the scene. Mark Wahlberg is eating up the scene. Michelle Dockery, I know I'm saying her name completely wrong, but she is eating up the screen as well. Michelle, what's her name? Michelle Dockery. That's my bad. 100% my fault. All 3 of them are just having a good time. It felt like they were just having a blast on set. And you know what? Mel Gibson, he really directs. He does like this, Hacksaw Ridge, Apocalypto, Braveheart. Yes, could this be his weakest film? Absolutely. Because when I just told you the other films he directed, this is more of one where it's like, hey, can you help us a little bit? because honestly, Lionsgate does a lot of these Sylvester Stallone or Matt Dillon movies that do go straight to like DVD. And I feel like this could have been a straight to DVD movie, but like playing with Jar Butler. But I think because Mel Gibson directed it, as well as having Marky Mark and Topher Grace and Michelle Dockery in the movie, they decided to put it in theaters. And it looks like being on a low budget, like 10, 12 million, it's already made over 25 million plus Blu-ray DVD sales. It's a profit. It's a win-win for Lionsgate. So overall, Flight Risk, yes. Is it simplistic? Yes. But you know what? Sometimes I want to shut my brain off, laugh, and just have a ridiculous time up in the air with Topher Grace, Marky Mark, and Michelle Dockery. And I had my time, and I enjoyed it. So Flight Risk will receive a 3.5 out of 5 Futons, which equals at 70%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. I know it's not going to be good. Critics, 30% with a 108. Audience score, 63 with over 1,000. Critic consensus, while there's a place for high-octane dumb fun, Flight Risk dives straight into the unpleasant camp without a parachute. I kind of disagree, but you know what? I'm just a single simpleton through and throughout. What was that? 30, 63, 70. Chase Scott here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know things Blue Futontopia. You Blue Futonians. Thank you for watching. Have a great night. Watch us take tomorrow, week from a month, or a year from every single freaking one of you. Peace and love. Peace and love. And yeah, those small propeller planes, they're freaking terrifying. Freaking terrifying.